Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me today is George Paspalas. He is the president and CEO of MAG Silver Corp. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is MAG on both the TSX and the NYSE American. And MAG Silver will be presenting at the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek happening September 13th through 16th, 2022. For more information, please visit precioussummit.com. And with that, George, thanks so much for joining me today. How you doing?
I'm well, thanks, Robert. How about yourself?
Just gearing up for Beaver Creek. We're less than a week away, right?
Yeah, the season begins.
The season begins. 'Tis the season. So George, we had you on here about a year ago. But before we get into all the updates and everything like that, can you start us off with that quick overview of MAG Silver?
Sure. MAG, our principal asset is the Juanicipio Project in Mexico, sitting on the Fresnillo Trend. It's a potential to be a real prolific silver mine. We've completed construction of the plant. We've been actually running material from underground through our partner Fresnillo's neighboring plants for over 2 years now. And the situation down there is we're waiting for the final power connection from the Mexican power authorities to enable us to commission our grinding mills and hence complete the whole commissioning process. The rest of the plant's commissioned. That's an interesting story, Robert. Whilst we're waiting for this power connection, we've been making substantial cash flow by processing tonnage from development and stopes through the Fresnillo and the Saucito plant. In fact, in the second quarter, we made $37 million of gross profit, which is a pretty remarkable story when you think about the fact that the plant's not running, but we're making all this cash. So when that plant gets running, we're looking forward to that. We also have a second stage exploration drilling program at our Deer Trail property in Utah. Very encouraged by what we see there in terms of a nice, complex, looking to be quite a massive system. The old story, lots of smoke. We've got to work out where the fire is, but we're encouraged by what we see there. And earlier this year, we announced a transaction where we took on the Larder project in Ontario, sitting on the Larder Cadillac break. It's, again, in all three cases with our assets, Juanicipio, Deer Trail, and Larder, they sit on a location type stamp. And we're coming in there with a different geological approach. Looking at more what mineralization is at depth rather than the shallower, lower grade, near surface, open pittable. We have experience in the Abitibi. We know that you have to get deep to get good, and so we've just started that first drill program. So that's sort of a snapshot of MAG. The balance sheet's really well positioned with $42 million of cash on the balance sheet in Vancouver, and we've got probably close to $40 million sitting in the joint venture in Mexico from the cash flow we're making out of Juanicipio at the moment.
Absolutely. All right. So, George, let's get to those highlights. Last time we chatted was last year, September 1st, 2021. That's when we published that interview. So, you kind of went through a little bit, kind of the high level look, but what would you then say are some of the highlights from the last 12 months?
Well, I think the main thing from a highlight perspective is when you have a high-grade mine, you want to know that you have a high-grade mine. And we've proven that the grade at Juanicipio is the order of our PEA Bonanza Zone 600 grams per tonne of silver, not equivalent. That's over a kilo of equivalent silver, but 600 grams per tonne silver or better. We've proven that we can recover the metal out of the rock through these comparable flow sheet plants that's been running through, and we've got a good feeling that we've really de-risked the ramp up. We just need to get plugged in, and off we go. So all that takes you to a big margin and very robust cash flows, and so that's the highlight for Juanicipio, right? We've run enough material for so long now that we've proven the grade, proven the recovery. We know the margins there, and the balance sheet's looking great. Deer Trail, our first drill program, every hole turned up mineralization, high grade but narrow. We want to follow that up. And hopefully next year I'll be telling you about our highlight at Larder Lake. We're just on the first or second hole there now.
Very good. All right. Well, George, to close us out here, from what you can tell us, and you kind of already alluded to this, where basically, you're just waiting for the plug to be plugged in the outlet, so to speak. But what would you say are some of the near-term value catalysts that you want folks to pay attention to moving forward?
Well, I think people are focusing on the plug, getting plugged in. It might be worthwhile having a look at the balance sheet and have a look at the cash we're making. And as I said, it's quite unique where you are a substantial cash flow producer without your plant running. Obviously, when that gets plugged in, the tonnage will probably increase, ultimately up to double what we're doing at the moment, and with better recoveries. So, the cream gets a little bit better on our plant rather than the older plants, even though, we've got recoveries in the high 80s through the old plants. And so we don't have a firm date on the power connection. We're told it's soon, imminent.
All right. Well, George, with that, where can our audience go and find more information on MAG Silver?
MAG Silver, www.magsilver.com. There's an info email in there if you want to contact our IR person or get to me. We like to talk about the asset, we like to talk about the company, and we welcome interaction with people.
Very good. Well, George, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe, and we'll see you in Beaver Creek.
Yep, for sure. Bye, Robert.
All right. Thank you, George. And again, MAG Silver will be presenting at the upcoming Precious Metal Summit Beaver Creek, happening September 13th through 16th, 2022. For more information, please go to precioussummit.com.